You've got a DR200. You want a different carburetor because it came with this god-awful horrific carburetor. That's a Mikuni, I think, BT31. It's their CVK. Kian is CVK, but it's the Mikuni version of constant velocity, not direct cable. Great for altitude changing, great for not being able to tune a carburetor. It kind of self-tunes, but horrific for performance. You want a nice crisp throttle response. You want a better carburetor. And I know when you're on the Facebook groups and chats and things like that, there's a big group of people, never buy a Chinese carb, only buy real Mikuni, real Kian. That's kind of bullcrap. Japan outsources their stuff too. And that's why China makes great knockoffs. I run plenty of Chinese carbs. I love them. I'm a big Chinese carb fan. But the reason you may not be is because you bought this Chinese carb. This is a direct replacement for the DR200, that BT whatever Mikuni thing, and it is horrific. It does not work. Look at the reviews. When you go online and look at these things, they're about 60 bucks, 50 bucks, but look at the reviews. They're terrible, and the carb does not work. I've had different carbs on this bike. I've duct taped them in place just to show that this thing does not work. Even a $13 AliExpress carburetor made this bike go 70 miles an hour. With this carb, it won't go over 40. Tried to tune it, not worth it. The first issue you got to take care of is that fuel valve right there. You need to get the regular dirt bike fuel valve. The off-road version DR200 dirt bike, that's the way to do it. So this is a street model, so it had the vacuum. It has another line coming out of it. That's your number one problem. I'll put a link to this exact fuel valve that I know fits this DR200 tank, and this is the steel tank, this is a street model, in the description. You've got to replace that fuel valve. These vacuum valves make you troubleshoot carburetor problems that shouldn't have been troubleshot. That's why this thing ended up with a Chinese carburetor on it, because the guy I got it from thought the carburetor was bad when it was actually just that vacuum valve. And he threw it away, so I don't have that original carburetor, but we're gonna put a different carburetor in it. The problem you've been running into is that this original carburetor is 93 millimeters wide between intake, manifold, and the airbox. Every carburetor out there that you can find is about 82 millimeters wide. It doesn't fit in there. That's why I said I duct taped it in there to test it, just to troubleshoot that carburetor was actually bad. An FCR carb is even thinner. It's 70, maybe 8 millimeters wide. So you cannot find a carb that fits in here, unless it's this piece of crap Chinese one. And that's what's giving people such fits on this DR200. The fix is pretty easy. You need a heat gun, go to Harbor Freight and get one of these. You'd like a hammer or something with a wooden handle, doesn't really matter. This is an old trick we used to do to make our gas tanks bigger before they made big gas tanks. We used to stretch our gas tanks out. We'd stick a hammer inside the filler nozzle and we'd push out on the edges while we heated it with a heat gun and expand it out. So you're gonna do the same thing to this. Take your seat off, take your air filter out, and you can put that hammer inside the air filter. Get rid of this thing, it pops right off. You don't wanna melt that. And then with your hammer inside the air filter, you pry out on it while you heat it with the heat gun. And as you heat it, you'll feel it getting soft. You'll feel this stuff start to expand. So just kind of keep working it around and around. You'll move this hole in the air filter over enough to make a smaller carburetor fit. Now when you change carbs, you're gonna probably get a cable slide carb like a Mikuni. I'm gonna go with a round slide though. That's what the old XRs used to have on them. It gives you a little bit better. PWKs is one of my favorite carbs. It was designed for a 2-stroke and they work really good on 4-strokes. Give them a lot of nice top end. But this bike will be for just trail and tech riding, so I think I'm gonna go with a round slide. You'll need a new cable and a throttle. I ordered the carburetor and the throttle kit. And it comes with grips, even though I've got them. It comes with a throttle. It's a good quality throttle. Looks cool. Yeah, Nibbi's a Chinese carburetor, but they're a really good quality Chinese carburetor. There's my throttle cable. And it's time for a new one of those anyways if you have an old DR200. I like Chinese carburetors. I've never had an issue with them, except for that one. And I went with a 28 millimeter PE. When you measure your openings, you'll get 40 millimeters on this one, 50 millimeters on this one. Most of your aftermarket Chinese carbs are gonna come in at 35 millimeters on the intake side and 49 millimeters on the filter side. The 49 will obviously fit in there. The 35 will also fit in that 40. You can squish it down with that clamp. I got a better clamp on there just because I'm squishing it so hard, but you can squish it down with that clamp and make it fit this 35 fine. So this is a 28 millimeter PE Nibbi. And I've run Nibbis before. They're a really good quality carb. You can see it's not the fancy racing one. I just want the good, reliable dirt bike one. This is for my kid to ride in Colorado. I can't have him calling me with issues all the time. It comes with the 115 main jet in it. There's some other jets in the bag. I live in sea level at Florida, and every Nibbi I've got has run best out of the box. I've got a lot of videos on tuning carburetors, but see, yeah, there's a 112, 118, actually bigger. When I get this thing to Colorado, I'll retune it. I'll take some even leaner jets than this. There's a 110. I'll probably take some 95s all the way to 100. And here's a 35, so it probably has a 40 in there. Yeah, it's a 40 in there. I may go ahead and swap that out to the 35. I know I'll need it in Colorado. I'll leave the big main jet in there though, so I can make sure that the bike runs right since I had the engine apart. But don't be afraid to play with your needles and everything and your jets. Once you do this swap, it's super easy. All you've got going to it is that fuel line and your cable. You're just gonna loosen your clamps on your intake and your airbox, and you're just gonna twist it. And you can twist it out till you can access that float bowl. Change the jets, then twist it back in position, and you're good to ride. Twist it back open, change the jets, twist it back in position. Super easy. It's not like having that stock carb. Go ahead and assemble your throttle cable and throttle housing. This is a lot nicer housing than I thought it was going to be. This is cast aluminum, and it's not plastic. I thought it'd be plastic. Good quality. Turn your handlebars away, whatever makes this cable the longest. You don't want to put it on like this, and then when you turn your handlebars, you open that throttle. It looks like that'll work. And then if you turn the wheel towards you, you get a lot more slack. That's the position you'll be in when you twist your carburetor to the side and do your jetting changes. So it gives you a lot more slack. And I've got it routed right in front of the key switch there around the neck. Now we can hook our slide up to our cable. So pretty simple, you just stick it through that hole, let the ball end come out right there. So I'll put it in that hole in the bottom, and then around that groove, like that. But you want to assemble it all first. Got to have this piece first. Pull that rubber thing up. Get that out of the way for right now. Put your spring in there. Your little black retainer washer thing. And then do the same thing. Get the dog hair out of the way. And boom, you're rolling. That's all you have to do. That's your idle right there, that little dent. When you adjust your idle right here, it just pushes in on that little brass pin and moves this thing up and down to change the idle. This groove right here is the same one that's going to line up with that pin inside there. So you get the orientation right. Get your needle in the hole and thread it in. It's got an O-ring in the top that keeps the air leak, making your carb run lean. I think that was a problem with that Chinese carb for this thing. It was pulling air from the top and leaning it out. Here's your drain. This is an overflow in case you fall over, and that's where your new fuel goes in. It's ready to install. One thing I'd make sure before I install it is that this thing is not open. If their throttle cable is real tight, it'll be open like that. And when it does start, it'll just take off across the garage. The other thing that could happen is that tip could be stuck on that ledge, and that's why I took this up here. You don't want that happening, so get that down in there. Otherwise it'll make your carb stick up and open. So make sure the carb does close, and we can make all the adjustments once it's installed. And you can see the 82mm Nibbi fits perfectly in between there now that I've stretched that box out. It's gonna be a perfect factory fit. Now I gotta monkey this thing in there. It's a wrestling match. And because you modified your box and it pops out more, you can push it back in and make room to fit it in there. I probably have too much fuel hose on there, but leave extra fuel hose, because what you're gonna do is when you go to tune it, you're gonna twist it like this and access that float bowl. Now right now my handlebars are turned that way, so that's as far as I can twist it. If I turn my handlebars like this, now I can twist it right up like that. And that's how you're gonna work on this thing. Just gonna leave it installed, change your needles right here. Super easy. And you got a lot of fuel line, so it twists that far. Everything's hooked up, got my fuel line shortened, but still long enough that I can twist it and work on it. Turn the fuel on. See, this thing's got on, reserve, and off. That's the way it should be. Don't see any leaks. I got the choke on. If I know Nibbies, it'll start right up. Stop that. Do not make the mistake of controlling your idle with this throttle cable. I can pull on this cable. I can twist this out until that engine's running as fast as I want. But you don't want to do that. We're going to have, you got to have some slack in your cable. So we're going to move the idle knob and move the slide up and make more slack in the cable. Yeah, they put it on the wrong side. Usually the idle knob's on the left side, so you can have your hand on the throttle while you're adjusting the idle. And the bike should be warmed up first before you start trying to adjust anything, honestly. Look at it idling though. There we go. Take the choke off. I'm in Florida. I don't need much choke. So now you got your idle set. Again, you're gonna do this once it warms up. You're not gonna do this while it's cold. See how the throttle's taken off on me? That's a sign of an air leak. I might have to tighten this down more. Now, typically move your air idle mixture screw in or out until you get the highest idle. Adjust the idle where you like it, and try it again. Go in. See how the idle goes up? It's a better adjustment. If I went out with that screw, the idle probably would have went down. We're going to go in until it goes down, and we're going to come back out. This is blocking off air. It mixes with your pilot jet. Whenever you're not using your throttle, the slide's not going up and down. This is how you control the amount of air that goes in. Your pilot jet's how you control the amount of fuel that goes in. See how it went down? We're going to come back out. We're going to find that high idle again, right there. You got to give it about 4 seconds to react. Just come out a little bit more. We're talking 8 quarter turns at a time. There, that's even better setting. Now adjust your idle with your knob. We'll come out again and see if it gets worse or better. And it didn't get better, it got worse. So let's go back in. Wait about 4 seconds. Got a little bit better. That's a pretty good setting right there. It's easy as that. Now we're just adjusting jets. So with that right there, the bike will run good. If it bogs, it's probably too rich. If it pops and sputters, it's probably too lean. But it's a Nibbi. It feels good right out of the box. There we go. Right there. That's what I'm looking for. That's probably that lean pilot jet I put in there, because that's right off throttle, under a load. But I'm not going to tune that until I get to Colorado, because Colorado's 10,000 feet. Right there. That's probably lean, but that's okay for now. Yeah, it runs so much better with this Nibbi. So much better. Even with that lean condition, It just really is nice. Yeah, this is really how this bike should have ran from the get-go.